the network, Chess Tips with Colby, and here I have today Colby. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
All right, so we got this is the new show on the network. So tell everybody what this show is going to be about.
This show is going to be about chess tips and tricks, and anything and all that will make you a better chess master.
Okay, so let's get started today with the bare basics. We're going to talk about what pieces are that should be in your chess set and where you should place them on the board.
Okay, so let's start with the pawns. You're going to have 8 pawns, and you want to set them on the second row on your side, depending on which side you are playing, or if you are playing white or black, depends on which side they would go on.
Okay.
Doesn't really matter, but just whatever side you put it on, that's the rest of the side that has to go on.
Okay.
So you should have 8 pawns, and each pawn can start out by moving 2 spaces forward.
Okay.
Or they can just move 1 space forward. However, after you move them at least once, they can no longer move a space. They can't move 2 spaces forward. They have to move only 1.
Okay, so initially they can move 2 spaces. After that initial move, they only can move 1 space at a time. Okay.
And then we have the rooks, which the rooks go on the bottom row on the corners.
Okay.
The rook can move in as many spaces at once, vertically and horizontally.
Okay.
And then we have the knights. Now, the way I'm going to set them up, you don't have to set them up like this. You can set them up facing forward, or you can set them up facing this way.
Okay.
But actually, the chess master in West Virginia, he actually he sets them up like this, so that way he knows which side they actually came from.
Okay. So does it really matter?
No.
Okay.
It's not a requirement.
Okay.
It's just optional.
It's more of a user preference.
Yes.
Okay.
Then we have the bishops, which will go right here. And we have your queen, which must go on its color. And the king will go on its opposite color. Now, the knights, they're very tricky, because they can only move in L direction.
Okay.
So if you start out by moving a knight, you can either move it in 2 places. You can either move it forward 2, and then left 1, or right 1.
Okay.
But let's say I moved this pawn right in front of my king. If I moved it 1 space forward or 2 space forward, how many ever I wanted to, let's just say 2, I then can move my knight instead 1 space forward and then 2 to the left, like that.
Okay. So as long as it's 2 moves in one direction and 1 in the other,
Yes.
it doesn't matter how you move. Okay.
And the bishop can move as many spaces as it wants, as long as it is diagonal.
Okay.
So but also, they can't go from, since these bishops, actually, they can only go on certain colors. They can only go on white, depending on which ones they started on.
Okay.
So let's say since this one, it's only going to be on white, since that's where it started from.
Okay.
So I can move right here, wherever I want to, as long as it's on white, and it's diagonal.
Okay.
And same with this bishop, except it would be on the black.
Okay.
The king can only move 1 space at a time.
Okay.
He can move in any direction he wants to, but only 1 space at a time. So let's say you can move right here, could have moved right there, anywhere you want to, as long as it's 1 space.
Okay.
The queen is really good. Here's the reason why. I can either have this pawn move right here. I can then have have the queen move back that way. I can have it move as many spaces forward as it wants to, that way, diagonally. I can have it go this way, then this way. It moves in all directions, as many spaces as it wants.
Okay, so the queen has full control of the board.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter where she goes. Okay.
Yeah, the queen is pretty much considered the best piece, since it is, minus the king, which you kind of have to use to get in checkmate.
So what is the strategy of the game? How do I win?
To win the game, you have to get your the opponent's king into checkmate.
Okay, so you'd have to take my king piece and put him in checkmate, okay?
Yeah, but you cannot actually physically take the king. You can't go, let's see, he's right here. This is just hypothetical.
Okay.
This pawn, let's say it already had moved 4.
Okay.
It can't take the king physically like that, and then you win the game. No. This is considered a check.
Okay.
That means the king is about to be attacked, but can still move.
Okay.
It will still have a legal move.
Okay.
However, let's say, just have just moving these pieces out of the way for a second. And let's just say, let's move these out of the way here. Let's say you took out most of these pieces. You've taken out pretty much all of their pieces.
Okay.
And you've got a few taken too by them. You can have, if you have your rook right here, this is a very common way to take that piece. And you have your queen right here. Well, actually, no, right here.
Mm-hmm.
That is checkmate, since the queen can move in any direction. So it's blocked. The king is blocked off this way, and the rook is attacking it from this way. And since it can only move one space at a time, it's currently in checkmate.
Okay, so pretty much you have to surround the opponent's king to where he can't move.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, Colby, thanks for stopping by. And everyone stay tuned next week, because next week Colby's actually going to give us some tips to actually help capture the king. So thanks for watching. This show is hosted by A&M Digital Technologies.